Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Haven't seen this one for a while. I'm going to be doing pack 11 of the Agora Models release. I build the Mercedes 300SL. So to give you an idea of what we were working on, check this out. We were working on the bodywork and we are going to continue that today. In fact, what we are going to do is we're actually going to be linking this to the main body of the car, which I've got down here. Now, I've got 3 Agora models actually ending at the moment. So we've got this one where in this stage we are, or this pack, we're going to be piecing both parts together. We've got the LaFerrari, which again, we're piecing all the parts together. And finally, we've got the Corvette Stingray. We're now on the last pack of that, and we're going to be piecing all those parts together. So you can probably imagine these are quite in-depth packs. So I thought we're going to tackle those. So today, I've decided we're going to be tackling pack 11 of the Mercedes 300SL. Now, once we finish this, we still have pack 12 to do. But by the end of this pack, we will have both parts of the vehicle pieced together. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, it's available through Agora Models. And I put a link down in the video description. There's a QR code on the screen there. And if you check this out, when you actually buy a model from Agora Models, you do qualify for the Agora Advantage Club, where you'd get reward points for every purchase, early access to news and limited editions, membership to a private Facebook group, and membership cards and badges to use. So if that is an incentive to actually order something from Agora, I don't know what is. But I'm going to be jumping straight into it. I haven't really looked in depth into the instructions. I only looked to see when we piece them together, and I realise this happens at the end of this pack. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So we're going to be starting with stage 74, where we're going to be installing the trunk lid here. And this is in this package here. Let's get this open. And how nice does that look? Check that out. That's brilliant. Okay. Now we're also going to be needing stage 73 that we didn't actually work on in the last pack. So I've got that here as well. And rather than bring a full mat up, I am just going to use a bit of a tea towel here, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting a bracket onto this section. So in this area just here, I've got the bracket here, which does have a locating lug. I'm going to push that into place. Just like that. It's going to be held in with a BM screw. Now I have just put the air conditioning on because it's quite muggy in the UK today, even though it's rainy outside. A little bit muggy today. I've got another little clip to put in here, which is more square shaped. That's going to go just onto the point there. Once again held in with a BM screw. This is a support rod clip in here. Then I've got the support rod, which basically just goes through the back of the first clip we put in. It is a tight fit, but if you keep wiggling it will go through, and then I can clip that into the clip that I just put in there. The only other thing then is some hinges that we're going to be putting onto the back, and they're going to be pointing towards the inside. So I've got this one here. I'm just seeing if there's a stamp on it. Don't think there is. Oh yeah, there is. This one is an R, right? That's going to go in there, which I'm guessing this one's going to have an L on. It does, which is going to go into this side just here. Now they're going to be held in with MM screws. So I'm using my PH1 screwdriver here to make sure I get that in nice and tight. Do the same on the other side. That's the hinges in. And now you can see why I've just put a little mat up here, because there's going to be a lot of turning the vehicle over today. So I'm bringing over the bodywork of the car so I can turn this upside down. So I'm going to now attach the hood to the back of the car. So probably best on the top camera for this. What I'm going to do is take the hood from underneath, and I'm going to make sure it rests in these indents just on each side here. So it's going to take some wiggling. There you go, that's in like that. And then to hold it in place, we've got some plates to put on. I've got one just going on this side here. These are metal plates. They're held in with MM screws. And we are going to want these in nice and tight. And then just do the same on the other side. Just check that closes and opens okay. That looks good. I'm going to spin it round. And as you can see, that's fitting absolutely lovely in there. And then I'm just going to open and close That's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 75 here, we're going to be working on the air, vent, grille, wipers and side mirror. I'm always nervous about working with mirrors on these vehicles because when we turn it upside down, invariably, I'll break them. So I am going to keep this mat down here because if I bring the car over, I'm going to be putting this grille into place just on the top like that there. And you can see that on the close-up camera. The longer area of these grills are towards the window here. It's going to be held in with HP screws from the other side. So I have turned that upside down just so I can get these screws in. And it takes 2 of these. Now I am thinking with the amount of times I'm going to be turning this upside down that I am going to start putting some masking tape on this just to stop the doors opening and closing all the time, as you can see what's happening here. So just let me get that sorted out. And there you go. Hopefully that's going to keep everything into place now, because what I'm going to do now is take the left windshield wiper. The left one is the shortest blade here, and that's going to be going into the position just here. And then the right one is going to go into the position just here. Now they're held in from the other side with EP screws. So this time this is very hard to show you what I'm doing because I can't really turn it all the way over. I tell you, these aren't the easiest things to put in. You might find it easy to actually put the screw through first so you can line this up and then screw this in. And when they're on, they should look just like that. The last thing to put on is the wing mirror here. That's just going to go into the spot just here, and that's going to be held on with a HP screw. Now once I put this in, we must remember that that's in the car, because there is a chance I'm going to break it when I start turning the car upside down. So let me do that now, and there you go. That's in place. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 76 here, I've got the fender grills and trim. Putting these all to one side because I need to bring the car back over. I'm going to be turning this upside down again. And if you look on the center camera, the grills are going to be going into each side onto these areas here. So let's turn the car over, and I'm going to have one grill here just going onto this side. So I've got one grill that side. Now you want to make sure that this wire on this side is actually away from this, so it's not going to pinch it. That's going to go in that side there. Now they're held in with EM screws, and we need 2 EM screws on each side. Now we've got some trim for these grills, but these are left side and right side, as you can see here. So this is the left side of the car here. When you push these in, I'm going to get this one in here, using the blunt end of my tweezers to push this in. You want to make sure that the indent that we've got on this side here and this side here is the same direction as this shape here. So that's looking good on both sides here. I'll get the other one in as well. Perfect. So that on the top camera, actually to show you on the middle camera there, that's how that looks. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And there you go. That's that side in as well. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 77, we've got the front fender mouldings here. Again, put that to one side, and I'm going to bring the car back over again. So the first fender moulding I need, and these are metal, is the front left. It is actually stamped very lightly, but it is stamped FL. So I'm going to be putting these just by the grille under this section over here. So making sure that's going into place like that. And they're held in with 3 CM screws. So if I get the center one in first, it is metal, so I have used oil. And then I'll put the other 2 screws in each side. So when that's in, that should look like that. And what we've done on one side, we must therefore do on the other. So I'm going to take the right hand side one, make sure the flat side is facing up. And once again, put that into place there. I do want to make sure that I'm not trapping any of my masking tape under there. Excellent, and with those in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So we do have some fender mouldings for the rear of the vehicle as well, which I've got here. And once again, these are labelled as well. So we've got the rear left here looking like this. So once again, we've got these stamped. This is the rear right here. It's going to go on this side. We want the straighter edge fitting towards the top of this section here, and this one's going to go in here just like this. Once again, just like that, held in with CM screws. And then once again, what we've done on one side, I need to do on the other. So again, I'm just going to move my masking tape to make sure I'm not pinching that. Get that sorted in. And once again, CM screws to hold this in place. And there you go. With that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 79, I've now got the trunk wall here. This is going to be quite a quick stage, this one. And once again, I've got some CM screws. Bring the car over again. See what I mean, the amount of times we're turning this upside down? Now, all of these wires I need to make sure are out the way for when I install this in. Probably going to be best on the top camera here. It's going to be going into this position just here, just like that. That just slipped in perfectly when I put that in. And it's held in with 2 CM screws each side. Now, I'm bundling these stages together because the next stage, stage 80, we don't actually do anything. But we do open the trunk panel up. Now, we're actually installing the whole trunk area. So once this is in, let me just show you stage 80. This is stage 80 here. Get this open. And as you can see, that looks just like this. So moving swiftly on to stage 81, as you can see here, we've got some carpet for this trunk. And it's going to be going on top here. So let me just do a dry fit to just give you an idea of how this looks. Now, I'm normally really good at installing carpet. I think what I need to do is line up these edges on this one here first, and it should line everything else up at the same time. As a matter of fact, I think if I do one edge first, let me just confirm that. Yeah, I reckon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the bottom first. I've only taken this much of the paper off, so it's not sticking everywhere. And that means I can align these holes up. So one this side, and one the other side. So that's the bottom lined up. Then I think we'll start working on this left side over here. So take some of the paper off in this direction and get this to mould round. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's looking good. We're in line with everything that needs to be in line at the moment. And ensure all the rest of the sides are in. Not the easiest thing to do in the world by a long shot, but there you go, that's in place. So in stage 82, I've got some accessories for the trunk here that we're going to fit on. And the first one we're going to need is the fuel tank, where we're putting this booster pump motor just on the top like that. This is going to be going into the side here, into the position just here and here. And it's held in with JP screws just from this side. Then I've got this toolkit I'm going to put in. We do have a locating lug. So let me just push this in to show you where this goes. Clips in just like that there. Again, it's held in from the other side with a JP screw. I've then got the spare wheel support. So what happens with this, we poke this through the hole at the bottom. So it fits over, probably best on the top camera like that. Then it comes out through the spindle at the bottom there. That's held in with HP screws. Then I've got the jack, which basically goes in this hole here. And the big lug that we've got goes into the hole, so it's resting on the top. So if I put that in, that gives you an idea of how that looks. That's held in with a HP screw. And finally, we've got the fuel tank filler tube, which has got a keyhole pattern at the bottom, so it can only go in one way. That's going to go in like that. Again, held in with a HP screw. You do want to make sure that breather tube just goes into the hole at the bottom of this. So that looks like that. Again, because all of these sections are to do with the trunk, and we are going to be putting a spare wheel in the trunk, I'm going to add these to these stages as well. So we've got the rim, and in stage 84, we've got the tyre, and I think you can guess exactly what we're going to have to do. Let's get these out. I'm going to have to get some hot water so that I can put the rim on the tyre. Let me do that now. So as you can see here, I've put this in a bowl of really hot water. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it on my cloth there, because what you tend to find with these cutting mats is if you put something like really hot water on them, they tend to want to bow and they just distort. So I'm going to keep that on my mat, probably for the best, because I'm obviously going to need to push that into there in a second. Now when we do push this in, we do want to make sure that we don't push that valve at all. Keep your fingers away from that valve. Now I am just having a quick check of this tyre just to check which way round it's going to go. Okay, I think that's going to be long enough. Let me fish this out. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Da, 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 da. Oh, I'm a Swiftie. Okay, let me get this all dried out, and it's done as easy as that. Okay, I've now put that water on the floor. We've got the tyre here. So what we're going to be doing is taking over what we've been working on. The tyre is just going to go onto that centre spindle there. We're going to be locking it in place with an MP screw, because we've got no intention of actually using this tyre. Now, when we put this in, we do have a washer to put in. So get the washer on the screw, then screw that into there. Perfect. And then we've got a rim lock cap to put in, which looks like this. That just pushes in the top just like that. That looks really good. Pretty happy with that. Look at that. Okay, let's bring the car over. Okay, I've supported the front end of the car so I can hopefully better film this. But what I'm going to be doing is putting this whole area that we've made here into the back of the car. But I want to make sure that these wires are kept out of the way of this actual boot lining here. So when we put this in, it's going to fit on top of the ledge of this area that we put here. So again, make sure these wires are out the way and just put this into place here. Now, when you know you've got it in right is when each of these points at the side are in where they need to be. Now, on this end here, we've got two lugs on the top camera. This is all we're going to be actually securing it in with at this stage. But to secure this in, I need to turn the whole thing upside down, which does mean I'm going to have to do this on its side. And I do need to open this panel now, because I do have the screw holes going in from this direction here. So as I said, if you check this out, we're only actually connected on this side here. We're not connected at the base, which is why this is flexible. So be careful when you're handling this. And I think we'll call it at that stage there, because in stage 85, we're going to start doing either side of the trunk here. So here's stage 85 here. And we have got some of the inner lining here, as you can see. Now this is the engine bay liner here, so that's what we're working on now. And I have got some tiny parts to put into this. And the first one I'm going to be putting on looks just like this. It does have a keyhole pattern on the back, so that's going to dictate that this is going into that position just there. It's held in from the other side with a TP screw. I'm feeling very playful today. TP screw just reminds me of TP. I mean, bunghole. Bunghole. If you know, you know. Then I've got the brake fluid line. I do like how all these are one part sort of thing. I've got a locating lug and a screw hole. So let's put that in. One screw hole, locating lug, and that bottom hole there. Again, held in with a TP screw. And then in this point at the top where there's two holes, I've got a hood release bracket, which looks like this. And that's held in with a HP screw. And then finally, I'm just pushing in these 4 pins into this area here. It can only go in one way, otherwise it's not going to sit right. That's 2, 3, and 4. So that's in just like that. So put that to one side. I'm going to bring over stage 86 now, which looks like this. This is the front wheel arch liner. And let me just show you how this is going to go. These two parts are going to go together just like this. As you can see, that's fitting on there. But it's going to be held in from this side with 4 screws, and they are EP screws. Okay, that's all good. What I'm going to do is open these CM screws up that I've got here now, because I'm going to be fitting this to the interior of the car. So once again, just put down this T-tail here so I don't break anything. Turn this over. And I'm going to be putting this in here now. I'm guessing that this wire needs to fit on top of this section. So I'll put the wire just tucked into that gap there. And I'm lining up these holes here with the lugs just there. So that's how that looks when that's in place. It's held in with those CM screws. Obviously, when you're putting those screws in, make sure you're not pinching any of those wires. You can actually see quite clearly down there to make sure that's not happening. Now, I've got that in as tight as I can get it, but that's in place just like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 87, this is a quick stage, so I am going to bundle these together, because all I'm going to be doing is exactly the same on the other side, but I do have this pipe to put in, and that's just going to be going into the holes that we've got here. There you go. So that looks like that. In stage 88, again, bundling these together, I'm going to be putting that wheel arch on and fitting this inside the car. So just like we did last time, this is just going to go over the top of these lugs here, like this, and they're held in with EP screws. And then once again, I'm opening these CM screws, so they're all ready to go. So that I can turn this upside down. And I'm going to be putting the wheel arch in this side again, making sure that the wires are going to be at the top of this section here. So just lining up the holes, make sure that they're not impeded. That looks good. And hold them in with CM screws. I'm going to turn that over, see how that looks. Now, if you find that your bonnet isn't closing like it should, let me just take this off. It should fit flat on there. If you're finding it's tending to come up like that, just loosen the hinges slightly on this side here. But as you can see, that works absolutely perfect. And that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 89, as you can see here, we've got the left wheel arch liner, but we are going to be tidying the wires up. So what we want to do first off is we want to make sure that these door switch wires, which I'm just going to untangle here a second, and the headlight wires are going over this section here. It does mean you're going to have to split the wire like that, because we want them to go over this door section just here. Now what I recommend, let me just do the same with this one, is I am going to put some insulating tape just underneath this section here. You're never going to see it, but it will make sure that those wires don't move. So as you can see there, that's one. Do the same on the other side. Now it's very hard to make out in the instructions what they're actually doing with these front wires, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just secure them underneath the wheel arch I'm about to put in here, and then all of these wires from the back and the front are going to go sort of around this section here, so they're coming out this area here. I think that's the best way to actually do this. So with them in place, let's get that wheel arch. I'm just going to tidy the wires exactly like I've done on this side over here. I'm going to be putting this wheel arch into place in here. So let me just make sure my wires are all cleared off in a direction. Just like that. I think that's looking okay there, like that. But I'm just looking at the instructions again. It looks like all of these wires that they've got here, I can just get these through, are actually coming for a little gap that we've got just at the back there. Look, if you look at there you go. Look at my picture there. I don't want to trap that wire there. So that when this goes on, let me just put this back on in this position. Just like this. They're coming for a little hole just behind here. So they're coming out of this section just here then. I think that's how they're meant to be. So let's put those CM screws in. The only one I haven't done this to is the headlining light. I'm trying to think, do I want to pass that through the same hole? I think I am going to do that actually. I just wanted to put 2 HP screws just into the holes here and here. And what I want to do is I want to use one of these clips now to clip all of these wires into place on this side. Now that's held in with a HP screw as well. And that does keep things nice and tidy on that side, as you can see. Now I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. Although the other side is slightly different because we don't have this little hole in the corner here. So this one I've just passed round the back here. But once again, CM screws and then HP screws again to do it from this side here. Then it's just a case of clipping the wires in on this side. So there you go. All of these wires now are coming out the back of the car just like this here. Now we do have a cable tie here that I can now use, open this up a bit, to piece all of these wires together. So they look like that, and they're all going to be coming out of the front of the car there, as you can see. Okay, not looking forward to this bit. We're going to be putting the whole car that we've created onto this section here, making sure I'm not pinching any wires. I'm looking around, there's nothing to get in the way of this. Okay, this is what the car's looking like. I'm not looking forward to this. Going to be turning it upside down, dropping it into what you can see there. I'm trying to find a good place to hold it. I've got the front in. You will need to maneuver the wheel arches around just so you can get these in both sides. Oh, I've got it in. I've got it in. Can you believe that? Wow. Okay, so then all of these wires that I've stuck up here, before I attach them down, just take them out again. I just want to feed them through this hole here, so they're coming out where the circuit board is. Make sure none of the wires are in the way of where this is going to be screwing in. I've got a couple of screw in places there which the wires are actually pinching at the moment, but we're good now. And just at the back in these two holes where there could be wires that could pinch, I'm going to be putting some PP screws first. I want to make sure that we are not pinching any wires. So one in this side. And just one in the other side. Then I've just got two more PP screws to go at the back. Now at the front, once you move that over here, I've got two CM screws to put in. They're going just at these front sections here. One this side. Excellent. And just one on the other side here. So that's all in place. All I'm going to do now is again just bring this over slightly, because I'm going to be plugging all of these leads into the circuit board. Okay, so let's put these wires in. The green and white wire we'll do first. This is the headlight interior light wires going into socket H. Then I think I'll do the grey and white wires. That's going to go into socket G, which is over this side. Then the blue and white wires are going to go into socket C. Perfect. We've got the big ribbon wire here, which can only go in one place. Excellent. So we've got socket F, which is the only thing which hasn't got a wire in it at the moment. Okay, so I'm looking at the wires at the front now that are coming from the wheels. I'm going to be plugging these. Each of these wheels has got a brake pipe coming off of it. There's actually a little hole in the side of this liner here to thread this through. So one in here. There you go, that's coming out there. And the same on the other side, just coming out there like that. Now they don't want us to actually attach them into position yet, so I'm just going to leave them where they are. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. You know what? That went together a lot easier than I thought it would. I'm so happy with how that's gone together. Let's turn this over. And I know some of you are astute there, would have noticed one of my pipes falling out here. I've just put that back in, as you can see. But other than that, that went together really well. And as you see, it shuts okay. Everything's happy. I'm all ready for stage 12. So that's not too bad. Let me just show you here as well. I think we're probably going to be having to turn it around, so I won't take the masking tape off yet. But how cool is that looking? It's very heavy. But there you go. If you do want to get this for yourself, it's available for Agora Models. I'll put the link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.